Thanks for visiting the patient and the weather. Today I'm meteorologist Al Peterlin. I'd like to talk about the weather health risk for November 30th, 2025. We do keep additional graphics at tpatw.com. And of course, if you're an Amazon shopper, we have a patient weather storefront. And if you do some shopping through the storefront, you can support patient weather. Looking at the surface map for tomorrow, it does look very interesting with high pressure, very strong high pressure pushing down the plains. You'll note that we still have an aggressive low pressure center building across Colorado, spreading a lot of unsettled weather in the higher elevations and snowstorms for this time of year. In the east, we still have that low north of New York State, and its cool front hangs all the way from Massachusetts through North Carolina into Georgia, back along the Gulf to San Antonio. And note a lot of unsettled weather with that front, even some wintry showers and thunder showers there. And note that we do have a lot of snow in the northern Rockies. We still have snow about the Great Lakes, and the blowing of snow again across Lake Erie into Buffalo area. Looking at the vitality index, this is a composite, a measure of all of those weather elements that might cause some kind of health risk in individuals. We have a lot of activity in the northern Rockies and up the high plains. A really significant swath of unsettled activity from Texas and then up the Mississippi Valley from Louisiana all the way to Minnesota. And then, of course, that frontal activity that's hanging along the eastern seaboard all the way from New England down through Carolinas down to Florida. Looking at pressure change, and pressure change is always one of those elements of interest to sensitive people. We have falling pressure in the Rockies, Colorado, Wyoming, and Montana. We have significantly falling pressure all the way from the Carolinas through Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, and up across New England, and picking up those Canadian cities from Windsor to Ottawa. But we have rising pressure all the way from Texas through Oklahoma, picking up again in Louisiana, Mississippi, and then north all the way through the Mississippi, Ohio valleys to Missouri, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, and up into Wisconsin and Minnesota. Temperature change, of course, is the area of interest with this first massive cold front of winter, and you can see the swath of cold temperatures all the way from the Dakotas into Illinois and the western lakes, all the way through the Tennessee and Ohio valleys, down the Mississippi through Arkansas and Louisiana, and swinging to the west through Texas. And it's a real cold swath all the way into West Texas. Dew point temperature changes are pretty much following that temperature change, the dew points falling where the temperatures are falling. But looking at vapor pressure, you'll note that the one significant difference in this is that we do have a lot of rising dew point temperatures here across this state of Florida. Looking at POI, which is our measure of the change in oxygen availability, and for us this means a risk of migraine in the Pacific Northwest, Nevada, Idaho, Washington, and Oregon. You'll note that we have the massive area of migraine risk chasing that high pressure area from Texas, especially into Oklahoma, across Louisiana, Mississippi, and then north through western Tennessee, Kentucky, all the way through Arkansas, Missouri, up into Illinois, Iowa, and then a very significant risk here in Wisconsin, Minnesota, and actually sweeping back to the easternmost portions of the Dakotas. Note we have a risk of asthma and arthritis through the Rockies, Wyoming, Colorado, and Montana. And then we have another significant risk of migraine, or asthma rather, and arthritis across the state of Florida into Alabama, Georgia, picking up really significantly in the Carolinas, cutting across Virginia, on into Maryland, eastern Pennsylvania, New York, and up into New England, and again, quite significant for these Canadian cities right along the U.S. border. Thanks for visiting the patient and the weather. Your comments are appreciated. If you hurt, let us know where you're located. And finally, again, if you're an Amazon shopper, go to our patient weather sites, and you can support patient weather by doing your Amazon purchases through our storefront.